Hello everyone, this is Abrar Ahmed, Assistant Professor in English, C. Abdul Hakim College, Melvisharam, Tamil Nadu. In this small video clip, we shall discuss the lyric and the word. The lyric. Lyric is a word derived from the Greek word lyre, which means musical instrument. As we have musical instrument like piano, guitar, etc. Likewise, they had musical instrument, and one of the musical instrument was lyre for the Greek. So we shall conclude the meaning that a poem which is sung with the music is called lyric. In the lyrical poem, emotion is the most important. The poet expresses his strong emotion in the lyrical poems. And it is the subjective poem, which means the poet expresses his feelings, his emotions, his inner world is described in subjective poem. Words are musically arranged. We can find musical words in lyrical poems, as we have The Solitary Reaper written by William Wordsworth. How beautiful the poem is. It's of course very beautiful poem. Words are musically arranged, then images are beautifully presented. Again, we have poem written by Shelley, Keats. These are the poems where images are beautifully presented. In the case of John Keats, Urn, Ode on a Grecian Urn. How beautiful the poem is. Then expressions of experiences, as in the poetry of Keats and Shelley. Right? Keats expresses his experiences, what he has experienced throughout his life. Likewise, Shelley, Ode to the West Wind, we can find his experiences. What are the problems which he faces in England and how he wants to solve those problems, we can find in his poem. I don't want to discuss in an elaborate way. Mirror to poet's personality, although the title may be Ode to a Skylark or Ode to a Nightingale. Title is about a skylark or about a nightingale, but this is not experiences or emotions or feelings of a nightingale or a skylark. It is an emotions of the poets. Shelley, when he sees a skylark flying high and high, he gets one kind of feelings, and he wants to just recollect his own life, in which he lacks the true happiness. So that's why he requests the skylark, teach me of thy gladness, that thy brain must know. So he requests the skylark, oh skylark, what is the secret of your happiness? You teach me. I too want to have true happiness in my life. So the poet is experiencing sadness, so he wants to have happiness, which he sees in the flight of a skylark. Then lyric is structured in three parts. First is motive, second one is statement, and the third one is conclusion. In motive, there will be a provocation. The writer, the poet is tempted to write a poem. In Ode to a Nightingale or in The Solitary Reaper, who is the reason for writing a poem? In The Solitary Reaper, a small girl is the reason. We can see the whole poem, how he compares the song of a lass and with the songs of the nightingale and with the song of a cuckoo bird. A very beautiful poem, very beautiful poem. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. So a small girl, what in the poem the poet uses as a lass. Lass is a girl of 12 or 13 years. And Wordsworth is very much attracted by her song. So that is the reason, that's the provocation, that's the motive of writing a lyrical poem. Then a statement, thought, emotions, and feelings are expressed in the lyrical poem. As Ode to a Skylark, uh, the poet want to have a revelation. He is not happy with the way of life. He is not happy with with the way of people who are living in England. So he wants to have a revelation. And Ode to a Nightingale, Keats is very much upset with the way of his life because he suffered a lot. We know that the total span of life of John Keats was just 26 years. And he lost his parents as well in his early ages. So he is totally upset. Totally he is dejected with his way of life. So he is very much tired and he takes consolation in Nightingale. The last one, conclusion. In conclusion, the poet resolves something. The poet comes to say that the poet have understood that what is the reason and what would be the solution for that. In Ode to a Grecian Urn, the poet uh, tells that whatever is beautiful, it will have truth. Whatever the things that has truth, it must be beautiful. Right? That's what the last line. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. Which means that if a person wants to hide his truth, he cannot truth. Likewise, if a person wants to hide his hypocrite, that cannot be true. Right? Hypocrites, the person who is cunning inside him, can easily be found. He can easily be understood by the by the people to whom, with whom he discusses, with whom he talks. Right? His cunningness cannot be, closed. It will be disclosed one day or the other. That's the message from the last line of the poem. Then we have another form of poetry, the ode. Ode is a long lyrical poem in elaborated stanza. Detailed description, detailed stanza will be there in ode. And ode deals with dignified subject, and it has so much of feeling, and it's very good in style. Logical evaluation of thought. Thought will evolve one step after the another. The poet expresses his thoughts. There will be a development in his thoughts. And what is the actual meaning of ode is addresses to someone. Addressing someone or something is called ode. And we have two kind of ode. One is Dorian ode and another is Pindaric ode. The odes written by the Greek poet Pindar is called Pindaric ode, and actually it was originated in Dorian. It is a name of district in which this kind of ode was originated. Pindaric ode is choric in nature and to be sung by a troupe of dancers in the church. So this ode is sung with a dance, and most particularly in the church, and it is in chorus. It is not sung by a single singer. It is sung by a group of a singer. And Pindaric ode has three parts. One is that strophe, the antistrophe, and the epode. It is nothing but name of the dancers. The way the dancer dances is the name of the dancer. The strophe, antistrophe. These are the names of the dance. And Gray, the progress of poesy, and the bard these two poems are the example of Pindaric ode. The Lesbian ode or Horatian ode, the odes written by the Latin poet Horace is called Horatian ode, and it was originated in Lesbos, an island. It is an island somewhere in Europe, and from where this kind of, somewhere in I think Europe or some Western countries. So from where this kind of ode originated. And it has a stanza with the regular metrical form, right? The stanza will be in metrical form, and sometimes it is rhyme or unrhymed, what we say, blank verse. And Marvel's ode upon Cromwell's written from Ireland. This is one of the best example of Horatian ode. And in English ode, we have two kinds. One is called regular, another is called irregular ode. In regular ode, stanza will be similar, as in ode on a Grecian urn, we have similar stanzas. Likewise, ode to the evenings written by William Collins, we have similar stanzas. Like Shelley's ode to the west wind. Whenever I read this ode to the west wind, the last line is very attractive, very ignited. If spring comes, what is the right? Can spring be far behind? If winter come, can spring be far behind? This has become a proverb, which means if you are experiencing some sadness, if you are living in a very upset moment, in a very short span of time, in a very short span of time, you are going to experience happiness. So life is a cycle of happiness and sadness. If we are experiencing happiness today, tomorrow we have to face sadness. If we are experiencing sadness, tomorrow or the day of tomorrow, we will experience happiness. This is what the meaning of the last line, if winter come, can spring be far behind. And in irregular ode, stanza with different length, as in Wordsworth ode and intimation of immortality from recollections of early childhood, and Coleridge dejection and ode. These two odes are the best examples of irregular ode, in which we don't have, proper stanza, similar stanza are different. First stanza is different from the second, and the second is different from the third. That's why it is called irregular ode. Thank you for your listening.